Ah, there it is. I think we are live. So this is just, let me get the cans on. This is just going to be a stream of me relaxing and doing some voiceover editing. That's all this is going to be. So get ready to just listen to my voice over and over and over again, because this is just going to be a relaxing stream. A happy little stream. If I can get everything set up properly. Let's get everything set up here. Okay. Really, I love Discord popping up every little notification. Let's turn that off, shall we? Minus, I love you, but I don't want to see your notifications, man. Okay. Ratkin, one of the more you... This whole video is just going to be me cleaning up audio and editing, and you'll see a little bit of my mixing process. Ubiquitous races in the Western Hemisphere of Terminus. Nearly every continent has at least one colony, from King's Reach down to Whitethaw, with several having multiple colonies in multiple regions, as diverse as environments are. And yeah, a lot of editing out breaths and whatnot. That's going to be a lot of this. It's going to be a lot of this video. As diverse as environments are, so are the types of ratkin that inhabit. So are the types of ratkin. Types of a little bit of mouth noise in there. I can see him. I can see him. Types of ratkin that inhabit. Ratkin that inhabit them. Ratkin are experts at resourcefulness and survival. The race. You know what I didn't do? I didn't put out. I did not put out Boop. Yeah, there we go. That works. Okay.
Atkin are experts at resourcefulness and survival. The race excels at acquisition of goods,
Low pop in there.
acquisition of goods and materials, goods and materials.
And if you're watching this without headphones, good luck.
Goods and material. Goods and
because there's a lot you're not going to hear
material
that I can with these.
and material.
There's a lot you can see in here, which is definitely something we need to clean up.
And materials.
This is my OCD kicking in here.
Materials, and has a reputation for bizarrely repurposing items. Pilfered from more developed civilizations. Here morality is curved for Ratkin as stealing from.
Take out that breath.
Ratkin has stealing from other stealing.
It's in there somewhere. Oop.
Stealing from other races is regarded more closely to.
Hey, what's up, Midas? What's going on, man? Just a relaxing stream of just some voiceover stuff.
Other races is regarded more closely to harvesting than theft. Yet to take from another Ratkin.
Yeah, you'll get to see, if you want to watch the fun process, this is the wonderful world of voiceover editing, which can be
to take from another Ratkin
quite annoying.
Yet to take from another Ratkin within one's own colony is an egregious crime, which may lead to the offender being cut off from the colony entirely. Abandoned and alone. Most Ratkin alone. Most alone.
In there somewhere. There he is, right there.
Alone. Most Ratkin lose their instincts to adapt and survive, and perish. As for proof of
I like that breath. Not sure if I want to leave that breath in there.
As for proof of survivability, more than a few dominant races have it. As for proof of survivability, more than a few dominant.
You can see this one right here. A little lip smack.
More than a few dominant.
Oh, still in there, right there. You can see him right here.
Few dominant races have attempted.
And if anybody wants to know what I'm doing there, I'll undo that. I have an auto heal function in Adobe Audition. This basically cleans up any strange looking abnormalities or issues with the waveform. So you can see this little noise right here in the waveform is this bit of lip smack in the spectral. This, which is awesome, but auto heal cleans and basically smooths up the waveform so it gets rid of it.
Dominant races have attempted genocidal cleanse.
So what I'm doing is really just looking for those lip smacks and mouth noises that my software missed.
Genocidal.
Which you probably won't be able to hear unless you're wearing headphones and wearing headphones that can go, ultra high frequencies, because even though this is MP3, I think I recorded this at 48,000 kilohertz sample rate, so it's not getting everything above 20K since I don't need it.
Genocidal.
You can see this one right here on the waveform. Yeah.
Cleansing against ratkin colonies, but with marginal success.
I'm not editing tempo. Kids Films, Melbourne. Hey, man, what's going on? Melbourne. Jesus, are you, what? I don't even want to know what time it is in Australia, if that actually is in Australia.
More efficient means of population control are pressed military service and outright slavery.
This little...
outright slavery. Ratkin revere old age.
A lot of problems in that.
Ratkin revere.
You can see this spike does not belong, let us say. Giant spike.
Revere. Ratkin revere. Ratkin revere.
Revere.
Revere old age in part because Ratkin.
If I want this
Ratkin outright slavery. Ratkin revere old age in part because
occasionally I will fix. It's daytime in Australian time. What time is it in Australia right now? Because right where I am, what time is it? Let's see. I'm looking it up right now. It's 1:13 p.m. Christmas Island. 1 p.m. Look at that. It's, what time is it? It's 11:30. It's 11 p.m. That's just me being lazy tonight. Little weekend editing.
Ratkin revere old age in part because so few.
Let me turn that off so I can actually see who the hell's in this. There we go.
Ratkin revere old age in part because so few survive to it. So few.
You can see some here.
Because so few survive. Few survive to achieve. Survive.
There's one in there, but I can't see him.
Survive.
He's in here somewhere.
Survive.
That gets rid of the whole entire thing.
Survive to achieve it. Older members of the colony called Eldai lead the group. Beneath them.
So we're not doing any editing as far as pacing. You're going to see if I actually keep going. Yeah, I'll probably keep going for a few hours. I'll get over to the multi-track session, and you'll get a chance to see how I pace this out. Because if I zoom out, this raw track is just over 7 minutes long. You'll see how I basically will increase pacing. I mean, I'm going for a little bit more effect or timing in the multi-track. It's a lot easier to edit there.
Ratkin revere old age in part because so few survive to achieve it. Older members of the colony called Eldai lead the group. Beneath them are the Noka, who are both capable melee or ranged fighters and established members of the colony.
This is also an unprocessed audio. There's no effects on this whatsoever except proximity effect on mic. The only effect that I have on here is I removed most of the background noise.
Who are both capable melee or ranged fighters and established members of the established members.
You can hear it there. You can see him. I see you.
Established members of the colony. Ratkin are highly sensitive to the rate of growth and consumption of their colonies. Their colony.
That's a sharp transient. Let me undo that. You can see
their colony.
Unfortunately, with proximity effect comes transient spikes. So when I have a transient spike like that, what I like to do is, I guess over time I've just figured, without getting a plugin involved, I like to fade in the transient. So I'll select it to where the peak of the transient is midpoint in the selection. And what I'll do is I'll actually fade in. I have a hotkey set up to fade in, and that usually halves it. It will take it right in half. So in amplitude, it'll go down quite a bit. So
colonies.
That k is not as hard.
Or it's not as colonies.
Colonies will turn into
of their colonies.
A little bit softer.
Taking their instinct.
And I kind of like that breath.
Colonies. Taking their instinct taking their instincts of resourcefulness and protectionism to the extreme.
Looks tedious. Dialogue editing is extremely tedious. Yeah, there's no ways about it. You can automate some of this process with plugins. Like I use Isotope, what is it, RX 6 or 7, to do a lot of the work for me, like declicking and mouth noise and things like that. But if you want the audio to sound as good as a professional, a dialogue editor, you have to spend some time getting in there to clean up some of these things. You can automate some of it, but it needs a personal touch. Besides this, if I really chew through it and I'm not streaming, 7 minutes of audio in this way to really clean it up to where it's, I would say, broadcast quality, where there's not a lot of issues with the audio, might take me, I'd say, 20 minutes or so, if that.
Ratkin high.
Because I'm using a Logitech G15 so like a gamepad, and it has a bunch of macros that I can use in conjunction with my keyboard. It has a whole bunch of different macro banks, and I have a lot of different presets on there to make that process smoother. That took years of figuring out, which is part of the I would say iceberg of learning this software.
Can are highly sensitive to the rate of growth and consumption of their colonies.
Squirrels, what's going on? The master at work now. It's not really work. This is more playtime. All the other work voiceovers are done for the day. This is what I'll be concentrating on for a few hours.
Ratkin are highly sensitive to the rate of growth and consumption of their colonies. Taking their instincts of resourcefulness and protectionism to the extreme, colonies will periodically.
So I got a little plosive.
To the extreme, colonies will periodically.
Let's see here. See if I can get rid of him.
Colonies will period.
There's a bit of an impact there. That's why I'm blowing into the mic like an idiot. I think I'll be able to get rid of that too much.
Colonies will periodically eject.
That's better.
Resourcefulness and protectionism to the extreme. Colonies will periodically eject a minority percentage of their colony without warning. Known as vermin mania, this harsh but pervasive instinct strikes when the acquisition of resources will over time.
Oh yes.
Acquisition of resources will.
Don't want that breath.
Resources will over time be. This harsh but pervasive instinct strikes when the acquisition of resources will over time be outpaced by the growth of the colony.
Takes me about 3 minutes per minute of narration. Yeah, so 7 minutes, 20 minutes. Yeah, that's about three. Deep breath. Yeah, there's, well, I'll put it this way. It's very interesting. I'll show you a deep breath tool Isotope has, which is pretty, do I even have it loaded here? Oh, I don't have it in here. The RX6 standalone module does. I don't think I can get that up. Let me see if I can get that going on here. Do I even have that module loaded? Let's see. See if it pops up. See if that pops up. So this is the RX6 standalone. This is one of my last. This was German medic. I don't know where the hell this came from.
During the Second World War, the German army had a well-organized.
So they have deep breath or breath control in here, which allows you to basically target the breath and minimize it or reduce its amplitude or get rid of it completely. I have found like zero issues with that deep breath module, except that I don't like to minimize too much when it comes to breath control. I'm trying to force myself to learn proper breath control when I'm speaking. That's the bad side. You don't do any of the detail work. It is, you're right, it's total detail work. It is like detailing a car, because I just refuse to let my audio out into the world if I hear things like really bad mouth noise. Sometimes mouth noise is good, so has a way to deep breath using a sample, but it's a little iffy. Yeah, Audacity has a weird algorithm when it comes to deep breathing. So far, I can't. I mean, it's expensive, but the RX standalone, if I have just weird breath issues, it's way faster to take it out manually. Because I'll take that breath out by just simply, I have a hotkey which just inserts silence.
Taking their instincts of resourcefulness and protection.
And besides, it's in the context of the performance. Do I want to have an increased cadence or tempo that has energy to it, that has some kind of tension to it? I'll leave a lot of the short, quick breaths in.
Taking their instincts of resourcefulness and protectionism to the extreme, colonies will periodically eject a minority.
Like that one. I don't mind that one.
Colonies will periodically eject a minority percentage of their colony without warning. Known as vermin mania, this harsh but pervasive instinct strikes when the
Yeah, when you hear me repeat something, you know I heard something. Oh.
Strikes when the acquisition of resources will over time be outpaced by the growth of the colony. Though studied to
that one. So I will reduce that breath.
Though studied to a degree, little.
Actually, no, I don't like it. Don't like that breath in there. Just get rid of it.
Little is known about what informs vermin mania apart from pure.
So that one. I don't know why that's an example of what the hell I was thinking with breath.
Though studied to a degree, little is known about what informs vermin mania apart from pure.
You can even hear a little gurgle and pure. So let's get rid of that. See what it sounds like.
Apart from pure.
It's not too bad. I also have a hotkey set up for ultra low frequencies in plosives. I run a deplosive module on some audio tracks, which will cut out these frequencies manually. Like here, I'll show you. I'm going to highlight this, and these little bits down here will just go bye-bye at one press of a key, like that. But it has a tendency of removing a little bit more than I want. It's handy for, I just want to blast it out, and I want to make sure I'm not popping crazy peas into the microphone. But with the keeper character, I like to leave in as much detail as I can when it comes to frequencies. So the more frequencies I have in there, the more comfortable I am with the performance, or the job, I should say.
From pure animalistic sensing, has Ratkin have nothing like an...
See that breath too.
Yeah, apart from pure animalistic sensing.
I might leave that.
Though studied to a degree, little is known about what informs vermin mania apart from pure animalistic sensing, has Ratkin have nothing like an advanced accounting or mathematics system. When this occurs, the rejected Ratkin are treated as intruders and even enemies. Ratkins
don't like that one.
Ratkin staying with the parent colony with the parent.
That's a bit of a harsh one.
The parent colony will group.
It's like you're winding up for the word pure. I was winding up for that. I could tell that was just, I normally when I record these, I tend not to go too deep into multiple takes. I know what it's going to sound like because I'm not trying to be over emotional or over energetic with a certain script, unless it's one of the race ones that I did for Pantheon. Typically, I will maybe get it in the first take, maybe two, but I'd like to plan out. I'm usually a sentence ahead by the time I actually say it, but I like to plan out my breaths ahead of time.
Ratkin staying with...
What you missed was the entire editing or the cleaning up of this file. This is the raw file, but I've edited all of the clicks and dog clicker. Here, this should piss everybody off. That little dog clicker, which puts edit marks in my in my waveform. I just popped on while mixing my music, and I find this funny. I was mixing vocals and finding that I like some of the breath and others I just can't unhear, and I delete. And you exactly the same. It's 100% true. In fact, actually, I haven't done it yet, but every now and then I will find a breath that I like the actual the tempo or the pacing with no noise, no clicks, and I'll actually copy that. I'll leave that on my clipboard. Like right now, I just copied it, and I will go in and paste that in not random, but specific spots.
When this occurs, the reject.
And I tend to add breaths back in after I delete them. So yeah, it's it's pretty OCD to breath control. It depends on the performance though too. Singing, totally different. I wouldn't try to take out breaths of anybody singing. Unless it was just too overpowered.
Ratkin staying with the parent colony will group and
here's an instance I was way too emphatic on.
Ratkin staying with the
staying is just too much.
Ratkin staying with the
You can even see it. The amplitude is really high, so I'll knock that down by 3 dB.
Ratkin staying with the parent colony will group and fight the smaller child group and fight the smaller and fight the smaller.
You can see here this one here.
Fight the smaller child group, denying them even.
Yeah, definitely don't like this one.
Group, deny.
No, I gotta leave that in.
Child group, deny.
I think I have to leave that one in.
Group, denying them. Child group, denying them.
That's one little thing with breaths I don't like is sometimes you have to
child group,
leave them in.
Denying the group, denying.
There's a click in there. Can't see him though.
Denying them even scraps of food or access to belongings. Vermin mania is things.
Besides, in the context of my tempo is key. It is. So timing. This is not a timing. I go crazy with timing in the next part of this stream. What am I? I'm about midway through this track. So yeah, if you're here for a short period of time, buckle up because I'm just going to go until I get the multi-track done. So when I bring this over to the multi-track, you'll start to hear it take shape as the keeper, since my effects chain will be on. It'll be on the main. Actually, my effects chain is on that one track, and then I have a whole bunch of other shit. But that's where I mark everything as far as beats. So I haven't even chosen the music yet for this one. So that might be a whole hour worth of just me browsing for songs on one of my sites. So yeah,
Vermin mania.
We'll see.
Vermin mania is so strong that some scholars believe Ratkin are able to predict famine and drought years.
And drought. Too harsh. So here,
and drought.
Drought. Way too hot for my ears.
And drought.
So I have a fade in and fade out on my G15. So what I like to do is the reverse of the transients. So I'll select that, leave that amplitude the peak amplitude right in the middle of the selection, and I'll actually fade that out. I fade the transient out. Sometimes I'll do it twice.
And drought years in advance,
depending on how much impact I want on the word.
And drought years in advance.
Drought.
While others consider this a myth that simply aligns with normal Ratkin practices. Simply aligns with normal myth that's.
Yeah, right.
While others consider this a myth that simply aligns with
the background noise.
Consider this a myth that simply
it's buried back there, but there's no way I'm getting it out.
Myth that simply aligns.
You're never going to hear it anyway in the final track, but
aligns with normal Ratkin practices. Ratkin have no written.
And that's way too hot for me.
Ratkin have no written language or long-term
sharp transient.
Written language or long-term means of reliably documenting information. Documenting.
Bit of a hiccup there.
Documenting information. Most of their communication.
if I edit out a breath like that, I will fade out the last syllable.
Information.
Or fade in.
Most of their communication exists as pictographs, or surprisingly
I like that breath. Short
pictographs, or surprisingly intricate claw markings, which while limited to short-term expression.
So, some reason, yeah, my DSer, I have a DBX here, which basically controls my S's for me, but that one got out of control. So, actually, take that. I'm just going to delete the damn thing.
Limited to short-term expression do an excellent job of communicating within the colony. They may also use their sense. Paints.
Oh, a bit explosive there.
Paints.
Take him out. Just reducing the amplitude of the
sense. Paints. Carvings. Their own excrement or collections of materials such as stone or bone to direct.
Oh yes, got some work here.
To direct.
It may look, if anybody's watching, I have no idea because my window apparently is gone. If anybody's watching, what I'm not just looking for, let me undo those last 3 changes. So right here, you can see little bumps in the spectrograph or in the waveform. I'm not just getting rid of those things because I see them in the waveform. I will first look at the spike in the waveform and see, does it fall in between a word? Does it fall, right in a word? And sometimes I'll auto heal and sometimes I'll insert silence.
Their kin.
And how does it impact the word?
Materials such as stone or bone to direct their kin.
So here I'm going to leave this transient.
To direct their kin.
It's a little sharp and a lot of high frequencies there.
Their kin.
I hear a click.
Their kin.
But I'm going to leave that in there. In fact, it's probably this and this.
Their kin.
And that little made it in there. That.
It is worth noting that some ratkin have shown an ability to comprehend more advanced languages, though that
definitely don't want that one.
Though that understanding is limited to the ear. There is debate as to whether ratkin are unable to speak common languages simply because their tongues are unable to form words used in most spoken languages.
Yeah.
Simply because their tongues are unable.
So I'm going to keep that, but I'm going to reduce the amplitude. That breath.
Languages simply because their tongues are unable to form words used in most spoken languages. This has only added to their reputation as shameless thieves and ignorant wretches, which is not always accurate to individual ratkin.
So definitely
ratkin.
Take that down
or colonies. Ratkin have no unifying pantheon.
See, that's not a terrible plosive, but that's pretty rough. So I'm going to reduce that. See what happens.
Unifying pantheon.
That works.
Instead,
might leave that breath.
Ratkin have no unifying pantheon.
But
unifying pantheon. Instead, colonies will often
no, I'm not a fan.
Pantheon. Instead, colonies will often assimilate into a primitive form of
No, that's not a visual.
Into
a visual plosive on the spectrogram. I'm going to see if that.
To a primitive form of devotion to deities from other races in the region. This is due to, 1, the transient nature of ratkin colonies resulting in a systematic shallowness of their cultural and religious roots. That's weird that I got that. Their cultural and religious roots.
Wow. What is that? And?
Cultural and religion. And religion. And religion.
Ah. It must be the ah. Just reduce it in amplitude.
Cultural and religion.
Sticks out like a sore thumb.
Religious. And religious roots. 2. While...
Whoa. Goodbye.
2. While Ratkin do have a patron deity far in their past, colonies have so frequently moved physical and spiritual homes over thousands of years that they have lost all connections to that ancient tradition.
I like all of those breaths.
Ancient tradition. And 3. Ratkin penchant for acquisition and assimilation means that they often...
I don't like that breath.
And 3. Ratkin penchant for acquisition.
So let's see what happens. Why don't we take it out and fade it in?
Assimilation means that they all... And 3. Ratkin penchant for acquisition and assimilation means that they often... And 3. Ratkin penchant for acquisition and assimilation means that they often worship...
I don't mind that.
Means...
It's a cut, but I don't think anybody's gonna...
Means that they often... Means...
I do have that background noise. That must be me in my chair. I gotta get a quieter chair. This chair is, yeah, this has a lot of noise and stuff to it as I hit the mic, sorry.
Relation means that they often worship whatever idol. Often worship what... Worship...
That's a hard one.
Worship whatever idol, trinket, robe, or statue that they acquire from other races. And 3. Ratkin penchant for acquisition and assimilation means that they often worship whatever idol, trinket, robe, or statue that they acquire from other races. So
there's a little lip smack right here. Look at that guy just sitting there.
Boop. From other races.
OCD, man.
It would not be unlikely to encounter a Ratkin colony under the steps of Rulun worshipping an entirely different deity than a colony in the Roans. Nor should an adventurer tracing the steps of his father 30 years later be surprised to find that the devotion...
So there's another one of those abnormalities in my vocal cords. Where that E...
Be surprised to find...
When I inflect there, I get this pitch. It's almost like a natural... Yeah, or unnatural. It's like a pitch shift. It's like my voice wants to formant down, or will take the formant of the fundamental frequency when I go here.
Be surprised.
It's like Casey Kasem.
Be surprised to find that the devotions of the same... Be surprised to find that the devotions of the same colony his father found...
That's me trying to fake an English accent, too.
Have shifted over that time to another god.
So here's an example of 2 transients back to back, time 2, where I like one but I don't like the other.
Have shifted over that time to...
It's the second one.
Have shifted over that time to another god.
Yeah.
Within certain Ratkin.
Okay, so here, I can tell that I must have already deleted a breath. So I'm going to paste in that other breath.
Within certain Ratkin sleeps a devious blood-borne disease most commonly confused with rabies, called the drawn sickness. Within certain Ratkin sleeps a devious blood-borne disease most commonly confused with rabies, called...
Yeah, I don't want that.
But I will. Called the drawn sickness. A name which comes from the term drawn from the blood.
You know, I do wish that zooming was a little smoother. I'm looking at it on OBS. It like refreshes the entire image. Maybe they'll fix that in one of their updates. Adobe. If you're listening, Adobe, why does it jump? It's drawing the page again. I know it's a zoom, but can we have smoother zoom? It's not my PC because this thing is going to handle this, no problem.
A name which comes from the term the drawn sickness. a name which comes from the term drawn from the blood, and also their reputation for being drawn to strong mana fields. Strong mana fields.
A little bit of a
mana fields. The drawn mutation.
Just what I wanted to see. What exactly did you want to see? Just see some guy editing audio?
The drawn mutation gives infected ratkin unnatural.
Oh, editing. Well, I can't tell. Are you being serious? I can't tell. I don't know how to read sarcasm, unfortunately. I hope it's what you wanted to see, because this is just really boring stuff for most people.
Mana fields. The drawn mutation gives infected ratkin unnatural strength, extreme ferocity, and a diminished length of life. Yet the sickness may lie dormant in a ratkin for their entire life.
A bit sharp.
Entire life, as it often needs specific external or internal activators to begin the transformation process. Documented in.
That's a hell of a run-on sentence, isn't it?
Yet the sickness may lie dormant in a ratkin for their entire life, as it often needs specific external or internal activators to begin the transformation process.
I could tell I was starting to run out of breath there.
Documented internal activators.
Way too sharp transient.
Documented internal.
Even that one. Not a fan of transients.
Documented internal activators include a life-threatening illness, sustained periods of extreme
There's one in there.
Sustained periods of extreme stress or lack of sleep, bites or similar fluid transfer from other infected ratkin. External activators include highly concentrated or consistent exposure to.
Not a fan of that breath.
Take out that exposure to.
I want to do this, but I don't have editing. What do you mean? Oh, as far as software? Oh, you can always use Audacity.
Documented internal
if it's software.
External activators include highly concentrated or consistent exposure to celestium crystals or mana fields, spells of hexing, etc. Even ingestion of potions.
You don't have a computer, so. Oh, wait. Are you watching this on your phone? Because if you are, awesome. Thank you for putting up with the sound on your phone, because I don't know how the hell you can hear anything. I don't think. Oh yeah, coffee. This is not one of those slush. What the hell are those, margaritas? Yeah, this is not a margarita. I wish it was. Oh, you're on your tablet. Okay. Actually, you can use. Hang on. There's an app. There's an app for that. I have it in here. Is it Wave Editor? I have it on one of my other tablets. Waveform Editor. It's free. And it actually is pretty damn powerful. Yeah, I don't have it on this. Hang on. I'll find out. Let me get up. Yeah. Let's see. All right. Let's see what this one is. This is. I know I have it in here. It is. Oop. Yeah, Wave Editor. WavePad Free, it's called. If you're interested. Which store is? Oh, I'm on Android. Sorry. WavePad. Here. I'll get the cans on here and I'll actually launch it. Show you. It's actually pretty. Yeah, show you. Let's see. Look at this. I wish I could screencast the tablet too. Oh, I wish I could screencast the tablet. I'll open up. Like I had a raw recording in there. When it opens up, it gives you a pretty good. Much glare. Gives you a pretty good waveform, and it allows you to edit. You know, if you have to edit, and compress, and add effects to it, it actually does a pretty good job. I wouldn't recommend using your tablet to record the audio, since most mics kind of suck on tablets, but you could. Jacob Gordon, thank you. I've never heard beautiful voice before, but thank you. I'm glad you like them. Yeah, I'm glad you like them. It's fun making them.
External activators.
Pardon my sniffles. I seem to have some sniffles this evening.
External activators include highly concentrated or consistent exposure to celestium crystals or mana fields, spells of fields, spells of hexing, etc. Even ingestion of potions or fungi that react in the bloodstream. Drawn are a menace to any people group nearby.
There's one in there. That one right there. What's that?
Any people group nearby, including their parent ratkin colony.
Yes, from that, let me look. Jeez, I got too many computers. I got a laptop, I got this freaking tablet. From that, you should be able to export. Yeah. Yep. There's an export button, which will allow you to save to MP3. So you can save it to, well, this is Android, but you can save it to wherever your tree structure is. So I have a few MP3s in there that I was just messing around with. I wanted to see how powerful that was. And for basic editing, it's got noise removal. It's not as good as Audacity. In fact, I wonder if Audacity you can get on Android, but who knows? It's got pretty good tools.
Drawn are a menace to any people group nearby, including their parent ratkin colonies. Their parent ratkin colonies. Their brute power and swift stealth or strike abilities make power and swift stealth or strike abilities make them a threat to.
Let's see if I can even take that
abilities
out.
Make them a
no
abilities make them a threat.
I will minimize that.
Abilities make them a threat to even capable adventurers. Additionally, once the process of transformation is complete, there are no remembrances of a former life or allegiances thereof. While drawn are unsuitable as warriors or slaves,
we're almost at the good stuff now. Almost get to go into the multi-track.
Some nefarious entity.
So one way that I edit, inside tip, is as I get towards the end, because this is the last two lines of this bit, depending on how well or poorly the script is written, there may not be a good climax. It may not have a good, impactful last line. This is one of those scripts. These two last sentences are pretty boring. There's nothing impactful. So what I'll tend to do is draw them out a little bit more. I'll add some pacing into it.
Some nefarious entities have sought to use the drawn ratkin as untethered watchkin as
Yes, a little bit of low noise.
As
and since typically I end with a quieter track or a little bit
as untethered watchdogs,
subdued music, I like to keep this as clean as I can.
Tethered watchdogs, or even to use the sickness for their own means. Then to use the sickness for their own means.
It's not too bad.
Or even to use the sickness
except this transient.
Or even to use the sickness for their own means.
So, I'm going to add in space. All right, so that is pretty much it. So my last step before I actually move into a multi-track. Oh, let me move this over. Before I move into a multi-track, I will typically go through and look at peaks. I'll look at, this is just a normalized to negative 0.1 dB, and I'll look for spikes. I just want to know what the spikes are. I won't necessarily remove them. I just want to know what they are before I throw them into the multi-session. Or the multi-track. Yeah, so I'll...
From King's Reach down...
do a little manual correction of...
Ratkin are one of the more ubiquitous races in the Western Hemisphere. Few dominant races.
Yeah, my that frequency...
dominant races
is loud. My vocal cords like that.
Cleansing against Ratkin colonies. Ratkin revere. Oh, Ratkin.
Yeah, it is Ratkin.
Ratkin are highly sensitive to the rate of growth and consumption of their colonies.
And I am technically looking for balance here as well. Like I give this just a visual scan and I look to see, all right, this section right here is a little low. What was I saying in that section? Like I know the last bit is going to be low because I'm trying to give a little more emotion to it, but I know this is low. What did I say here and why is it low?
Limited to short-term expression it is worth noting that some Ratkin have shown an ability to comprehend more advanced languages, though that understanding is limited to the ear. There is debate as to whether Ratkin are unable...
So, I love Infinity War. Balanced as all things should be. The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
It is worth noting that some Ratkin...
There's a voice.
There is debate as to whether Ratkin are unable to speak common.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Only added to their reputation as shameless thieves and ignorant wretches, which
these
is
are
not always accurate to individual Ratkin.
Besides, most of my effects chain will get rid of that dynamic range for the most part, since, yeah, the Keeper's voice is way overprocessed. But that is now a clean track. I have like 4 different stages. I have a completely raw, which is snorts and breaths and noises and crap that I save. And then I turn that into I turn that into an edited, or actually, you know what, let's call this clean. This is a clean wave. So, remove this over. Actually, I have to open up the last session. I don't know what the last session, I think, was the War of the Damned. Yeah, the War of the Damned.
Hundreds, if not thousands of years prior to the arrival of the dwarves and the elves, a conflict erupted between the Banshee and wraiths of Terminus. This War of the Damned began sometime after the ascension of dragonkind, and is thus not well documented today. What is known is that during this time, the nascent power of the
I'm just listening back to that session. This is a session file from the last one that I did to make sure that what I think I hear is actually coming out of my headphones, as far as levels, as far as music, because the dynamic range on this track was compressed pretty badly when I first set this one up. But I do have all presets for dialogue. I should say for the tracks that are in here for dialogue and music. But actually, I can get rid of the War of the Damned. I'll pop this in here, and you'll hear pretty much what it's going to sound like right off the bat, which will probably be really freaking loud.
Ratkin are one of the more ubiquitous races in the Western Hemisphere of Terminus. Nearly every continent has at least one colony, From King's Reach down to Whitethaw, with several having multiple colonies in multiple regions.
So,
as diverse as environments are, so are the types of rat king.
So this track, this DX1 here, so what is this for? This is for just a side project for me to help support a game called Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen. It's a series that I've just been doing since I'm a gamer, so I just wanted to support this in a way that would drive some interest in it, because I want to see the game succeed. But this is, it's like a personal project. I originally started out with the idea to create a character so I could train myself to put my, acting skills. So I could put myself in the mindset of a character and then, try to come up with some techniques to make that character more believable. Because the one thing that I sort of need to work on is my character skills. But that's what it started with. And since it's in support of a game, I figured, hey, what the hell? I'll have some fun. And besides, it's all training. This is all training me to get better, to get faster at editing and making those kinds of decisions. So as long as if people say they like it, great. I'll keep trying to make it better. But yeah, you can probably hear. Let me turn off. Oops. Actually, no, I can't turn off that, can I?
Ratkin are one of the more ubiquitous.
So I have this going through. This isn't a typical Talus Miles Prower. Hey, man, what's going on? Thanks for joining. This isn't a typical. This isn't what a typical session would look like for somebody doing. Well, I would say music composition, but voiceover composition. I have everything just thrown on my master bus. It goes through. You can see here. I have a few different. I have a reverb bus. If I have different environments that the keeper is going to be in. Typically when he's in, if I have him inside of his study recording, or writing, I'll throw on a convolution reverb, which will sort of mimic a space. So here you're hearing it pretty much.
Buddhist races in the Western Hemisphere of Terminus. Nearly every continent has at least one colony.
You're hearing a chorus and a stereo expander that's thrown on via this right here, this DXFX. That's Dialogue FX bus. So this gets sent down to that, which gets sent down to my master. So you can see here it goes right to that. So that is where I control how I want him to sound in a space. So if I want him to sound in a different room, I would technically, you know what, while I'm here, let me do the thing that Audition has been doing lately, which is crashing on me. Every time I seem to do something, it makes, I get to make a new, see all the ones on this drive. Let's call this the Ratkin. The Ratkin. Oh, I already have one. Oh, why did I do that? I'll go in there. What does a simple history? Oh, you want to see the? I'll show you. I do not use. I do not bring simple history into the multi-track. I'll give you an example. So, do I have an open recent? Nazi propaganda. I don't know if I want to talk about Nazi propaganda. That's for simple history. That was one of the latest ones. But I have. This is pretty much from the beginning of the year. So, go into this one. Let's see, Russian hiker, the Russian hiker mystery. So right here is typically the raw file. So this is what, 12 minutes long. So this is what I send over to the producers that actually mix this voiceover with the animation. So here I'll play a little bit of this. This is actually this one's already been released, but you'll hear I give him these little beeps, our little slate takes, our slate tone, are different header titles for the episode. So he may choose one and he'll just delete the rest.
The mystery of the 9 Russian hikers found dead. The mystery of the 9 Soviet hikers found dead. 9 hikers dead, 1 missing their eyes and tongue. What killed them? What killed these 9 Russian hikers? 10 hikers went out, only 1 came back. Was it murder? The Dyatlov Pass Incident, 1959. Just to the east of...
So you definitely notice this waveform is much different than if I click over to the Ratkin one. There's a lot more going on here. It's because I tend to process the simple history stuff. So where I leave him a lot of this extra space here, this, as I'm pointing to my screen because you can't see that, this extra space up here at the top is called headroom. And that allows him to amplify it, add a little bit more if he has to add in sound effects so he can amplify my voice. So I usually leave him quite a bit. It is Motley Options. Yeah, he gives me a bunch.
East of the Ural.
Nope. Let me go back. But simple history is... God, I have a couple of drives worth of stuff for simple history. But how I process it, that's the thing. I mean, it's... So this is the raw track. Ratkin, one of this. If I were to add in a preset, a rack preset, an effects preset, you can see right here, Nectar 2, which is a de-esser. If I open that up, that's just taking out certain frequencies above a certain amount, and that will help de-ess. So I always have that on there. Ozone 8 is the big one. That's a mastering plugin. You can see I have an equalizer, an exciter, and you can actually see I get rid of a bunch of frequencies. I'm not a big fan of additive equalization. I do a lot of cut equalization, but this is so slight. I mean, I'm taking down at the most here, 6 dB of this particular frequency, and that was the last time I used it. I do add in an exciter, which adds a bit of crackliness, a bit of distortion to certain frequencies, but for the most part, these lower frequencies are what I'm trying to distort. I don't use a mastering effect or a sparkly effect on the high end too much. It's there, but it's not too much. Dynamics is kind of like compression, and maximizer is kind of like the same thing. I'm not even going to get into all that. That's all kind of useless stuff. Chromium, are you the one who animates in Simple History? I do some of the animation for the spots like Wix or Squarespace or, World of Tanks. I have Adobe Character Animator, which allows me to make the puppets. Basically, yeah, they're puppets, which allows me to do that. So I don't do the episode animation. I just do the spot animation when the character or talking head is moving. So it's basically just lip synced with my audio. That's a whole other thing. I think I did one video on Character Animator. That's just a tedious process. I don't know Character Animator. Like, I want to learn more, but it's such a deep program that I'm trying to focus just on audio. But we'll see. So many puppets.
From King's Reach down to Whitethorn.
Also, now here is typically when I go through, this next bit is really boring, where I go through and I edit. I basically put cuts in this solid track, because this is a solid track. So I can't manipulate, easily without going in and cutting it. So again, on my G15, I have a little cut option. So I'll slice, basically...
From King's Reach down to Whitethorn, with several...
I'll slice where I want to add emphasis. And shifting, it doesn't even matter yet because I'm not assembling.
Several having multiple colonies in multiple regions.
I'm not assembling anything yet, so...
As diverse as environments are, so are the types of ratkin that inhabit them.
What I'm doing here is looking for opportunities to insert a cut or a slice for either dramatic effect or to eventually change, the tempo later on.
Ratkin are experts at resourcefulness and survival. The race excels at acquisition of goods and materials. and has a reputation for bizarrely repurposing items pilfered from more developed civilizations.
So there I may want to cut right here to add a little emphasis on more developed civilizations.
And has a reputation for bizarrely repurposing items pilfered from more developed civilizations.
Can you make things sound deep on that? Well, what do you mean by sound deep? Because what you're hearing, again, I don't use a boost of low frequencies. So what you're hearing is me trying to use proximity effect with the mic, so you hear a lot of the lower registers when you speak with your diaphragm. You'll pick up a lot of that deep stuff. So sound deeper. I can make things sound way deeper if I really wanted to.
More developed civilization.
For example, if I were to go in and add a graphic equalizer, pretty much you can do this in anything.
Here morality is curved for Ratkin, as stealing from other races is regarded more closely to harvesting than theft.
It's too overpowering.
Yet to take from another Ratkin within one's own colony.
Besides, there's a pitch shift. I can actually, if you're talking about deep, I can actually change the pitch of the voice to sound really, actually kind of odd. Well, let's see what happens actually if we do that. I'm curious if pitch. Oh Jesus, I don't want to go down that many. Let's go down 3 semitones. It's just really bad.
And has a reputation for bizarrely repurposing items pilfered from more developed civilizations.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
And has a reputation for bizarrely repurposing items pilfered from more developed civilizations.
No, I don't think I would cheat in that. I don't think I would cheat in that respect. That's really just kind of. How long does it take you to do this kind of narration? This narration. So I recorded the original raw file was, I don't even know what it was, 7 minutes, 7 and change, 7 minutes 10 seconds. That takes me. The read through takes me twice that, maybe 15 minutes. To read through if I've prepared. So I'm preparing a script is, that's everybody does their own thing. So when I look at a script, usually it's just simply re-editing and highlighting certain things that I want to emphasize. That process takes maybe 10 minutes to quickly go through a 7-minute script. To record it, about 15 minutes. To edit or to clean it, which is adding or denoising, debreathing, click control, all that fun stuff. That takes about 20 minutes or so. This is the longest part to produce it because I'm going from the simple history stuff is different. That takes anywhere from, depending on the script, if it's a 10-minute script, it takes me 20 minutes to record it. And then it will take me maybe 30 minutes to edit and then apply effects. And then that's it really. This takes a hell of a lot more since I'm basically producing, at least with the Pantheon series, like the races and the War of the Damned and the Giants and all that. I'm actually trying to produce that content. So this takes hours. I mean, because right now I'm streaming it, but I'm going through and I'm trying to find cut points for dramatic and pauses and things like that. So it does take a lot of time. And the next part, after I go through and I slice this whole track up, I have to find, and this is the hard, I can't stream this. It's me thinking about what music that I want to listen to while I'm hearing this. How high can my voice go naturally? It can't really go too high. This right here is about as high as it actually goes. I can't really do a falsetto or I can't really pitch it up any higher, but this is about, because right now I'm speaking from my throat. Typically when I do this, I'll speak down here from my chest. If I'm doing a narration, it's kind of if I'm doing simple history, it's up in both. It goes up and down in both, but I tend not to go too high. But yeah, I really don't want to go too high.
From more developed civilizations.
So I'm also looking for, now that I'm hearing this, I'm also looking for a pause. Typically I put a title card about a minute Ratkin, maybe, like the title of the Ratkin. That looks like a good spot for it.
Ratkin are one of the more ubiquitous races in the Western Hemisphere of Terminus. Nearly every continent has at least one.
Yeah,
colony.
I just heard that breath, and I do not like that breath at all. So another way to take out a breath is technically I'm leaving it in the waveform, but I cut it, delete it. Let's see how it sounds.
Ratkin are one of the more ubiquitous.
Oh, Minus is still awake. All your voice work. What is your preferred music to listen to? Minus, do you mean my preferred music to listen to in general? Like if I'm just chilling, or my preferred music when I'm doing this kind of stuff?
Ratkin are one of the...
Oh, just any genre? God, I have a very wide, pretty much everything except really hardcore country. And I would say, Jesus, really just hardcore rap. I mean, not a huge fan of it. I don't think I've heard too much rap that I actually enjoy. I mean, there's some, but and other than that, if I were to say favorite genre, it would probably be. I mean, I grew up as a metalhead, so listening to heavy metal is pretty solid. But I also like new shit. A lot of dubstep and glitch hop and EDM. That's really fun. Even 8-bit was an 8-bit step. I even shipped electro swing. Electro swing is awesome. Does your voice work influence my listening habits? No, not at all. It does not. It does not do that. What about just straight yelling? Yeah, just people yelling at the top of their lungs. Sure, I'll listen to that. It would only have to be either Bobcat Goldthwait or who's that other guy who plays Iago in Aladdin? Gilbert Godfrey.
Ratkin are one of the more ubiquitous races in the Western Hemisphere of Terminus.
You're always vocals before music. Okay, so you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I put together any of even the old, not the old ones, but the most recent sessions, one I had like the Banshee and What Will You Be? What will you be? That actually, let me save this session first. Let me save that. It was only one of all of the Pantheon videos that I put together. There was only one. This is going to crash. Oh, it didn't crash. There was only one video that actually I chose the music first. All of the other ones, I tend to choose the music after the vocals because I'm looking for the emotion that I'm trying to do. But this particular, this is going to blow everybody's ears out. This one. Since the beginning of time. So that piece I heard on one of story blocks or audio blocks, and I said, I got to do something. I have to do something with that. So when I heard the music, I wrote the script myself and said, all right, I have to do something epic for that. That was the one time I've been inspired to do anything Pantheon related. Excuse me. I'm getting choked up. Is Simple History a company, or are you guys a group of people or friends? Well, I want to say it's a company, but it's a group of people. It's made by a gentleman named Daniel Turner. He lives in England, London. He is pretty much the owner of the channel on YouTube. So he wrote a few books. Simple History. I think it was World War I or the American Revolution. I think he might have done first. And he wrote a few books and he put them out on Amazon, and he wanted a way to promote the channel, and he started doing videos. And I got on board Simple History when he had I think he had a couple thousand subscribers. And my sound has changed. God, I can go back and actually, you know what? I need to do that just for shits and giggles. I'm going to close this session. I'm going to go back to one of my other drives. Simple History. Let's see. I have some ancient voiceovers from these guys. Some of my old want to sort by type. Why is sort by type not an option by default? Why? Microsoft, get on that, please. Cache quiz. You know what? Hold on. Let's do this. Let's sort by date. Can I sort by date? No, I can't sort by date. Date created. Wojtek. This is really intriguing stuff, isn't it? I made details instead of list. Oh, that's true. Yeah, but I like to see them. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know details. But I still prefer looking at them on like this. I don't like a long scrollable list. I like the whole window to be filled. Yeah, that's OCD. This I don't like to be able to see that, but I don't have to sort by date. Besides, this created date, which I just realized, is going to be when I created them. Since this is a copy, this is just a backup. Everything is online. This is just a local backup. So let me do this. Let's see. Q&A. Yeah, raw, clean. Let's see. Let's see what that comes up. Oh, that's old. So this is going to sound way different.
Community questions and answers. Silver play button and we answer your questions.
So that was in a completely different mic. That's a lot of old files. Oh, geez, you haven't seen anything. That's just one drive. That's too many. So that is... Let's go back. Simple history. So let's do a new one. I had, what was the most recent ones? These are the most recent ones that I've done over the last, month? I usually try to back them up every month. Leonid. I don't think anybody's heard this one yet. This one's not even out yet.
Leonid Rogozhev, the Soviet surgeon who removed his own appendix while in Antarctica.
So my voice sounded higher because I'm doing basically... I don't want to say I'm doing the voice, but it's a different audience. It's a totally different audience. It's a much younger demographic for Simple History than the Pantheon stuff. So I'm trying to speak up in my head when I do that, and I'm way further away from the mic. But let's see. Leonid Rogozhev. And then this one. Actually, let me do this. Let me take this, copy that next to this. I'll just paste it in there. You can see just in the waveform, louder, but definitely going to sound different.
Community questions and answers. Silver play button and we answer your questions. The young Russian surgeon could hear the cold, howling Arctic wind outside the tent as he places the sharp scalpel on his patient's right side of the abdomen. And with much precision, he makes a small incision cutting through the layers of skin and fat.
I don't think we did this one yet. So did we do the surgeon who performed... Or the doctor who performed surgery on himself? I don't know if he haven't made that live. There's a lot of them in there that he hasn't made live yet. That, you know, I still have recorded scripts that he hasn't produced yet or animated yet. But voice is now more like the Pantheon, it seems like. That's what caught me off. Yeah. I guess the times you're in a PC and I'm playing. Yeah, it depends on the mood. Is this editing for a new video or just an example? This is just an example. These two are just an example. But that Leonid Rogozhev, I don't think we even did that one. That's one he hasn't done yet, I don't think. Can't remember if he did that. But yeah, no memory. It's getting old. But what I'm doing tonight is really just for my Pantheon project. The Ratkin session.
Nearly every continent has at least...
It is for a new video, for me, for the stuff that I produce.
One colony.
Not necessarily for Simple History.
From King's Reach down to Whitethaw, with several having multiple colonies in multiple regions. As diverse as environments are, so are the types of ratkin that inhabit them.
Oh, by the way, Minus,
Ratkin.
if you're wondering why it sounds so differently, I have... This is not even all of them, but this is... In fact, these are a lot of the default ones. Different presets that I have, which will basically make It'll basically make me sound different. But depending on the mic that I use, I've since switched from a Neumann. That was a Neumann TLM 103, a Neumann TLM 102. There was an AKG something, AKG 1A. Then there was the Rode NTG. And then there was a U87. There was a bunch, but Sennheiser MK416 shotgun mic I've been on for 6 months or so. Absolutely prefer this mic for my voice. It's not good on everybody's voice because if you don't have a lot of resonance or chesty, bassy resonance, kind of not overly good for those kinds of voices, but it helps cut through. Part of the Adobe Complete package. Yeah, this is, well, here, can I bring it up? I have Adobe CC 2019, which gives me access to everything, whatever their subscription. I don't even know what the hell it costs. It's like a subscription monthly something or other. It gives me all of their applications, which, Premiere? I use Premiere. Actually, you can see them. Can you see them on the screen? No, you can't. So, After Effects, Adobe Character Animator, Lightroom, Adobe Illustrator, Premiere Pro, Photoshop, and Audition are the ones that I use on a regular basis, and I don't want to update these because no way, because they seem to break. But yeah. Yeah, I've used to use a torrented, I used to use a torrented version of Photoshop, like 7, for the longest time. That was years ago. And ever since I started doing voiceover work, I had to legit buy it because it's way better. I want the whole suite. I need to have the whole suite to do pretty much what I do. It's worth it if you can justify the cost, because I think it's like $50 a month. I don't even know what it was, but it's expensive. But Photoshop and Audition and Premiere are the ones that I use all the time. I'm still learning After Effects. It's like Photoshop I'm pretty good at. I'm pretty well versed at. Adobe Audition I'm pretty advanced with that, but Photoshop I'm very good at. Premiere I'm getting better at it, and After Effects I'm medium at that. But After Effects is just really powerful. It's just my PC needs a little boost for power, for rendering. Can I get a confirmed age? Is everyone over 12 years old? I hope everyone. I hope everyone. I'm over 12. I hope. Not. Now that I use Premiere, I can justify it a bit more using Premiere and Photoshop. Yeah, Photoshop is hugely powerful. I mean, I have Lightroom on here too, but I still edit in Photoshop. I just prefer it. I mean, it does depend on the monitor you have. If you want to try to make something that looks gorgeous, you should spend your money on your monitor, but that's just my opinion.
Here morality is curved for Ratkin, as stealing from other races is regarded more closely to harvesting than theft. Yet to take from another Ratkin within one's own colony is an egregious crime, which may lead to the offender being cut off from the colony entirely. Abandoned and alone, most Ratkin lose their instincts to adapt and survive.
Yeah, you can say anything you want, man.
Which may lead to the offender being cut off from the colony entirely. Abandoned and alone.
Okay, maybe I was there.
Abandoned and alone, most Ratkin lose their instincts to adapt and survive, and perish.
Surface Studio. Oh, dude, the Surface Studio. I saw that. Well, I was just buying a new laptop the other day, and I'm like, yeah, let me go. I never buy it in stores, but I was in Best Buy, and I was looking at the Surface Studio that they had there, and oof, man, there was a day when I would have killed for it, but
and perish.
That was pretty solid.
As for proof of survivability, more than a few dominant races have attempted
Not gonna play this joke, huh? Tracking a Surface Studio right now on eBay. Yeah, it's there. I don't use it anymore, but a Wacom tablet, one of the big ones that I used to use because I'm gonna say I'm a creative person, but I went to school for graphic design, and I prefer using a tablet in Photoshop. When Photoshop came out with, I don't remember what version it was. When they came out with the, you know what, screw it. When they came out with the mixer brush that allowed you to paint virtually, where it mixed colors very realistically and that sort of stuff, I was like, oh boy, Surface Studio would be amazing to have for that option. Couldn't get the feel for a Wacom because Surface Studio is completely different. Yeah. I'm going to do lighter jokes. Okay, yeah. Do as many jokes as you want. You can do whatever jokes. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what jokes you do. I don't care. All right. I got to work.
As for proof of survivability, more than a few dominant races have attempted a genocidal cleansing against ratkin colonies, but with marginal success. More efficient means of population control are pressed military service and outright slavery.
Yeah, it's not perfect. The Wacom Cintiq, I think, is a screen. It's kind of like the Surface Studio, pretty much, for that matter. I think it's the Cintiq, but that one was nice.
Ratkin Revere.
Can you mark like that in Premiere? Mark like what? Do you mean what I'm doing right now? Slicing or adding these edits?
Ratkin revere old age in part because so few survive to achieve it. Older members of the colony.
There's a breath I don't really like.
Achieve it. Older members.
Yeah, I'm just slicing. I'm just adding slices in here. And yes, you can add that in. Yeah, you've used that in Premiere. In fact, Premiere, the audio in Premiere is pretty much what you can do in Audition now. They seem to be adding a lot of the stuff in Audition. I just know the interface in Audition a little bit better than Premiere, but you can do most of this stuff in Audition.
Older members of the colony called Eldai lead the group. Beneath them are the Noka, who are both capable melee or ranged fighters and established members of the colony.
Audio recording methods break Premiere a lot of times. Yeah, I don't have that experience because I just don't record in Premiere too much. I mix and master my audio in Audition prior to sending it over to Premiere, because I like to have one file instead of multiple audio tracks. What if you made a track of just breathing and inhaling into a song?
Ratkin are highly...
That had to have been done. Somebody had to have done that before.
Ratkin...
And if not, you need to get on that.
Ratkin
are
highly
great.
sensitive to the rate of growth and consumption of their colonies.
Yeah, welcome to the wonderful world of messing around with audio, because, yeah, it's pretty good. Adobe Audition is pretty good. It's come a long way. I mean, I know a lot of people use Pro Tools and stuff for this, but Adobe Audition is preferred. My preferred. Losing money watching Chris. Yeah, that's fine. A hashtag. I'll tweet that out.
Instincts of resourcefulness and protectionism to the extreme, colonies will periodically eject a minority percentage of their colony without warning.
Yeah, the question is...
Known as vermin mania, this harsh but pervasive instinct strikes when the acquisition of resources will over time be outpaced by the growth of the colony.
I think I let American accent slip a little bit too much. My fake British accent. Can't imagine how many hours you spend doing this, listening to yourself talk. I can barely stand listening to myself. That's okay. So here's secret number one. Chris's secret. I like the way it sounds. I mean, all ego aside, I like the way my voice sounds. So if you can do that, if you can get to a point where you like the way it sounds, even though sometimes it sounds a little nasally, you sort of can learn the rest of it. If you can get over that. And I think the way I got over it in the beginning was I found a preset that I liked. In fact, actually, you know what? Let me go back here. Let me go to Rat Can Clean. There was, did I get rid of it? Yeah, I got rid of it. It used to be called just radio announcer, I think, as a default. And it basically did two things. A multiband, or no, wait, it's a graphic equalizer. Graphic equalizer set to home theater. Where is it? Do I have it? Oh, Destination Home Theater, that band, classic graphic equalizer, and a multiband compressor. You're going to hear this. It's going to freaking kill you. Broadcast preset. These are two presets, and that was my first ever sort of preset for my sound. I'm going to play it.
As for proof of survivability, more than a few
I'm going to turn it on.
races have attempted genocidal cleansing against ratkin colonies, but with marginal success.
You can hear the difference.
More efficient means of population control are pressed military service and outright slavery.
No,
Ratkin.
I've since changed that. It's way too bassy, especially if people are listening on phones. It's just too muddy. So that was, I don't know, 5 years ago. I think I did that one. It sounds awesome. So I would edit my voice in that, so it would at least sound good, so I could make it sound even better. But, oh, God, that's just too deep. God, my ears are hurting. You should do a radio show. Do a radio show. Do a podcast. Podcasts, Pantheon plus podcasts. How about that? Minus. Get going.
Though studied to a degree.
There is one, God, I'm all over the place tonight. There was one thing, the latest Pantheon Q&A, the dev Q&A, where Kilson, I think I even downloaded the audio because it really annoyed the hell out of me. Do I have it in my downloads folder? Let's see. Yeah, I do. I'm going to show you something. So this is importing. This is going to take a second. This is importing the audio and technically video of that podcast or that Q&A. So here's the waveform. And at the beginning, Kilson's talking.
The developers I have with me, Brad McQuaid,
you can see it in the see it in the waveform. Is it Ben Dean?
If Brad needs an introduction.
Yeah. And then Brad
McQuaid.
Right, all over the place. There is one little thing it's right here, speech volume leveler. All you have to do is set this right, and it completely eliminates the fact that Kilson was so low and everybody else was so high. Literally, it takes what was that? 8 seconds, I think it said, something like that. And then bing, look, everything's nice and loud. Now it increases the background noise.
Makes it easier. Okay, so the first one. I'm not going to do names.
I can hear him. I wanted to do a video about that and just tweet it out, but I don't want to be a douche about it. But yeah, don't get me going on that. Don't get me going on that. Yeah, the audio mixer was off. I work for Bose. Oh yeah, Bose. I like Bose. Because they use audio work. These are not open ear. These are closed back. These are Bear Dynamic DT 770. Jesus, I got a lot of headphones. Yeah, these are Bear Dynamic DT 770 80 ohm stuff. And yes, I could have cleaned out the background noise. In fact, actually, as I was messing around with it, and actually that's the thing. I heard it. I'm like, I got to fix this. You can easily take out or reduce the background noise. But even so, there's no excuse for putting out a video like that for a game that you're promoting with audio levels that are all over the place. No excuse. Audacity, you could have done it in Audacity with 3 clicks. I mean, no excuse at all for that. All right, I got to go back and cut. That could save me so much time in editing and Haya's voice. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I think when I did Voices of Terminus, that podcast, or that video, I boosted the hell out of my signal during that, and I still wasn't loud enough on their end. So I don't know if he has an audio, I'll say issue, but either a mixer or a way to take different channels of audio and get them into their own mixer so everything's balanced. But I know we did that live, so whatever. I'm not, no biggie. No biggie. If I made the yes, I don't. Well, the voiceover leveler or the voice leveler doesn't do anything to the loud stuff. You set the threshold at that thing, and anything below that threshold will be amplified only. That's it. It won't touch the other stuff, so it won't distort. A freaking mess. No, leave it in there. Screw it. Just leave him in. Don't go through editing all the old stuff. Yeah, don't even bother. I wouldn't even bother. And I know you can do a remaster, and yeah, I've kind of wanted to do a few remasters myself.
Though studied to a degree, little is known about what.
And I actually hear some problems in that right there, in that audio.
Though studied to a degree,
there's a lot of. I'll fix it up after.
Though studied to a degree,
some distortion there.
Is known about what informs vermin mania, apart from a pure animalistic sensing. Has Ratkin have?
I'm not going to music bus.
Pure animalistic.
Actually, you can see on my music bus down here, which I have, graphic equalizer, multiband compressor. No matter what music I send into this thing, I always add a little bit of graphic EQ when I actually compress it. Yeah, I gotta say, I never thought this was the case. Even listening to just music growing up, I never thought that people would say, oh, you have to train your ear to listen to it or train your ear to hear it. Yeah, it's true. You have to train your ears to hear things. I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, I can pick out individual, I'd say within a 200 or 300 hertz, or whatever frequency, within 200 or 300 hertz, you can know, oh, I got a treble frequency at 2,500 hertz, or oh, that's way down there at 250 or 200. You have to train it, and the addition, so go in here, having the spectral view and the waveform view, which you can see my spectral view is so much larger than my waveform view. The spectral view is much more important to me because that's where I'll see dirt or grit or things that I'll want to go out that you would not necessarily see inside of a waveform view. But yeah, it's important. This is, I don't know if I would say you'll see this stuff. Yeah, you typically wouldn't see. I could go through a whole dialogue editing session, and that's just boring as hell because it's tedious. It's just tedious work, but you'll start to hear little clicks and stuff, but you're going to have to... Yeah, that is definitely way too hot.
Those studied.
Turn.
Those studied.
Oh, see, even there.
Those studied too. Those studied.
I think it's this. It's in there somewhere.
Those studied. Those.
I don't know how that frequency is. That's something I would technically record. I may re-record that.
Those studied too.
There's a bit of distortion. I don't know where that distortion came from.
Those studied to a degree, little is known about what informs vermin.
Let's do this. Let's just knock it down.
Though studied to a degree, little is known.
Similar to a YouTuber. Undoomed. I don't think I've ever seen Undoomed. I'll have to check. That's a good name. Undoomed. I will definitely check out that person. Let me go back. I gotta keep going on this thing. Oh, and thank you to everybody who's still hanging out with me. Make this less boring.
Though studied to a degree, little is known about what informs vermin mania, apart from a pure animalistic sensing. Has Ratkin have nothing like an advanced...
I don't like that breath there either.
Animalistic sensing has...
And you may see me switch back and forth between multi-track and waveform view.
Sensing has accounting or mathematics system. When this occurs, the rejected When this occurs, the rejected ratkin are treated as intruders and even enemies. Ratkins staying with the parent colony will group and fight the smaller child group, denying them even scraps of food or access to belongings. Vermin mania is so strong that some scholars believe ratkin are able to predict famine and drought years in advance.
That's a close edit. I'm a little, my tempo was a little off on there, so I'm going to bring those a little closer.
And drought years in advance, while others can...
God, there's so many different ways of getting rid of breaths.
While others consider this a myth, ratkin have no written...
Yeah, right? Editing? Yeah. I gloss over a lot of stuff. This is not easy to pick, especially going in and out of...
Ratkin have no written language or long-term
waveforms.
means of reliably documenting information.
Oh, there's one thing I don't know if you're doing, Minus. I got to watch some of your stuff a little bit more with a critical, an autodidact. Yes. There's a way to get, I don't know if I mentioned it to you. There's a way to get VST audio plugins to work in OBS. Like I have a few. Hopefully this won't kick me out, but let me see. EDD. Let me see. Filters. Yeah, so let me see, get this on screen. Yeah, right? If you can see that. I don't know if the resolution is too, yeah, I can't make this window any bigger, can I? Yeah, you won't be able to see the text, but noise gate, a declick, a de-esser, and I can't remember what the hell this is, but there's a few plugins that you can throw on your signal from your microphone to take advantage of maximizing, of compression, so pretty much any VST or VST2 or 3 audio plugin that you use in an audio mixing software, DAW, a digital audio workstation, you can use in OBS now. So you can add on. You can make it sound to where your audio, like I have some effects on here which bring out the bass like an EQ, but the biggest one that I like is a live declick, because mouth noise, like I'm eating or I'm drinking coffee with cream in it. It's not really good for the mouth noise. It doesn't sound too good. It tastes good. All right, auto edit.
Ratkin have...
Ratkin.
Most of their communication exists as pictographs, or surprisingly intricate claw markings, which, while limited to short-term expression, do an excellent job of communicating within the colony. They may also use their scents, paints, carvings.
And we are going to do that, as I think...
paints, carving.
Well, I'll probably end up doing this tomorrow after I get some sleep, but this is where timing...
Scents, paints, carvings, their own excrement, or collections of materials such as stone or bone
to come into play, my little tempo.
To direct their kin.
This is for a new video. This is not for Simple History. Actually, shit, I could probably record. I got like 2 scripts that I'm going to be recording for Simple History tomorrow, actually. Let me see. I forgot which ones they were. I am recording The Monk That Burned Himself to Death. And I think I know which one that is. And then The Beast of Omaha. I have no idea what The Beast of Omaha is. So I'll be doing those. I'll be doing those tomorrow. Actually, what the hell time is it? Almost 1 o'clock. I'll be doing those in the morning. Obvious? Yeah, right. Well, not necessarily. It's not for an old video, I can tell you that much.
It is worth noting that some ratkin have shown an ability to comprehend more advanced languages, though that understanding is limited to the ear. There is debate as to whether ratkin are unable to speak common languages simply because their tongues are unable to form words used in most spoken languages. This has...
And this is the part where I start editing. My mind starts thinking about what's the situation? Where do I want him to be telling you this story? The easy answer is, in his study, and it's like the pen and the scroll, and I can have little sound effects of him writing and turning pages and drinking and eating pickles.
This has only added to their reputation as shameless thieves and ignorant wretches.
I do not know where I want him to be. I like to put music to them, but it depends on the time. I mean, what is the emotion that I want to convey with the ratkin? What's the sound that I want to hear? I can hear some bits of music in my head about what I'm trying to feel when I listen to this. Creepy crawly, or is it sinister, or is it melancholy? I mean, that's a tough one. Dark caves, dripping water. Yeah, see, that's the easy stuff. Scratching, that's like the easy stuff. But like with my giants, the giants one, the Giants of Terminus. At the end of that, I had, actually, I don't think that's recent. Oh, it is. Yeah, let me see. At the end of that, I put in that sort of melancholy bit down here. It completely changed
the global Gaigana population.
Here.
Yet the counterpoint in this debate is that the aforementioned architecture and scale of their structures suggest that at one time, many more giants roamed this world, and their presence was nearly without equal. That their influence...
Yeah, I preferred the melancholy, that sad, almost, tragic sound to it. Like the beginning music was fine. But actually, you can see this is a larger project with different effects. Actually, this is kind of small. Normally, I'll have a whole bunch. You can see. So what do I got? Fireplace, birds, ambience, even some of the really old ones that I did. Pickles? How about the pickles? Spriggan? No, I don't think the Spriggan wasn't too bad. But the ones where I have him inside, it's just a lot of shit going on, which I don't technically like, but oh god, I got all these damn tracks in here. Ugh. Staccato. No. Oop. That's the good part about something new I can add in,
which is not always.
MREs in Simple History. Okay, so you just said MREs in Simple History. So prepare yourself. Oh, yeah. MREs coming soon. I can't say more than that, but I've already recorded. Did we do or England? We're doing armies. What the hell am I? We're doing armies, different armies. Simple History. Let's see. Did I do meals ready? MREs. So I'm not gonna. Oh, you know what? Screw it. Here we go. Hold on. Let me go in there. I don't think I did too much with it. Let's see.
This Simple History episode is sponsored by Wix. Shh. Go to wix.com/go/simplehistory.
No, let me open it up. Let me open it up in here. All right, sneak preview, but don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
Modern military rations. From the tin can to MREs. From the tin can to meals ready to eat. The story of modern military rations can be tracked back to 1795, when the French government, concerned about the problems they were having feeding their army, declared a 12,000 franc prize for anyone who could come up with a new method of food preservation. It would be 15 years before the prize was claimed, when, in 1810, Nicolas Appert, a chef from Chalon-sur-Marne, was awarded the money for his invention of a new technology. Appert had worked out that multiple foodstuffs could be preserved indefinitely if they were placed in vacuum-sealed glass containers and then heated in boiling water.
All right, that's enough. I can't play too much more of that because that's technically not even out yet. But I did record that one, and we're planning a series about different types. That's a long one. That was like a 10-minute track, and he's going to probably make it a little bit longer than that, since we haven't even edited any of the script yet. Like we like to edit for, there's a lot of fact checking that goes on, and yeah, so that one's going to be fun. But I recorded that. That was a while ago. I recorded that in probably the end of February, so it's coming. But the animation, actually, that's one thing. The animation takes a long time. The audio, for me, is fast. The animation takes a long time, and he's been getting other people to help with animation. Like he's been, I don't know if he's been freelancing or hiring people out, but definitely the animation has improved drastically in Simple History. So it's pretty good. It's getting better. But yeah, that one was a common. I don't know if that's probably the most common one that we've done. Even who was it? Hacksaw Ridge. I forgot his name. Desmond Doss. Desmond Doss was another big one that people wanted to hear.
Which is not always accurate to individual ratkin or colonies. Ratkin have no unifying pantheon. Instead,
why am I underrated? Why? I don't know. Why is anybody underrated? I'm not actually. Thank you, but I don't.
instead,
I don't really care. I don't care about the rating. I mean, it's nice. So, the attention is nice.
Instead, colonies will often assist.
Your voice gain equalization that you showed, do you know if that's in Premiere? Okay, we're going to find out right now. First, let me save it before I open. Do I want to save that? Yes. Let me open Premiere. Oh, this stupid thing. And I'll double check. And when you say voice gain equalization, if you're talking about voice, I forgot what the name of it was. It's in here somewhere. Hold on. Speech volume leveler. I think it is. Let me go into the War of the Damned. Offline. How likely am I to recommend Premiere Pro? Yeah, you can see how simple my things are. I mean, my things are totally simple. This layout for Premiere Pro is really simple. Let me just double check. Wait. There's an audio window. Track mixer. I have the track mixer. Let me just stick that over here. You know what? No, I don't know. That's a good question. Hold on. Properties, keyframes, auto gain. Missing media type. That's a good question. I can't answer that. So that's the original. I can't answer that. Is that on the audio tab at the top? Let's see. Audio. Let's look. I can't. I'd say this is where I don't do all of my audio. I don't do my audio in here. Audio effects. Convolution. Speech volume leveler. So I don't see it. Do I get paid by YouTube? No. I mean, it would be nice. It'd be nice. I mean, shit. I think, don't you make money after 100,000 subscribers or whatever the hell it is? But it would be nice to, but I don't. I don't see. I see automatic. See, these are a lot of nice little. Yeah, this is really interesting stuff. Me looking at plugins. 1,000, Chris, you should be able to. Oh yeah, I guess technically I could, but whatever. I'll save it until I get. Yeah, popular games. Yeah, you know what? That is a thing. The voiceover work takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to do. Not write it, but create it. I get scripts from not just Simple History, but a lot of work elsewhere that I do that it's not public. It's corporate, corporate e-learning and other projects that people are working on. So that keeps me extremely busy. If I were to stream games, like what do I just got to play? Fortnite and Grand Theft Auto 5? Sure. I mean, that's fun, but it's not something I think I would be able to do. Apex, yeah. So, I mean, even when Borderlands 3 comes out, I'm sure that'll be popular. Audiobook is something that I've considered, but at this time, I don't want to. I'm probably going to get into it eventually. But right now, the rates that I would get wouldn't come close to the time investment that I would have to put into it. So you guys are seeing, well, here, I'm going to get rid of Premiere because Premiere is driving me crazy. It takes a lot of time to edit the way that I edit. And if I were to do that with an audiobook, I would be sending them something that I wasn't, I don't want to say proud of, but that I was proud of. Some clean, clear audio that they could listen to. The time isn't there. So for, what is it, audiobook? So I think they said, or sort of the ground rule or the, best practice is if you can record an hour's worth of audio and get it ready, so an hour's worth of raw recording, if you can edit that down and get it to where it's ready to go, it shouldn't take you more than double that. I am not there yet, meaning my editing takes much longer. So I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. No, definitely. Most audiobook speakers that are self-produced or I don't want to say independent, but amateur, not amateurs, but people are professionals, but may not have the skill set that I do. Do not. They throw it through a denoiser. They'll denoise it. They'll deplosive. They'll declick it, and then that's it. They just won't do that. I want to take this as a point of pride. People have told me my voice is very calming. It's very soothing. It's very relaxing. It's because I take the time to look at transients, things that shock you or things that impact your ears. I don't like hearing them, so I get rid of them. So that's what makes it calming. Not necessarily the sound of my voice. It's the fact that I take the time to edit and go through no pain, get rid of the pain points, the transients, and the things that really irk you.
Instead, Colin.
Suggestion in Simple History. More suggestions. Can you do a series that tackle on each country's history? I'm going to say I'll mention it. I can mention it as a suggestion up the food chain to Dan. Probably not going to happen because it's simple history. A complete history of a country isn't something that's that simple. I like the idea, but it's not for this channel. Not for simple history. How do you do the history of? I mean, I've seen that Japanese history. What was that? The history of Japan. Fantastic editing, and it's very funny. You can do it, but he's trying not to go that route. It's more about historical accuracy, and you can't take the history of a country, make it accurate, and then do it in less than 10 minutes. I mean, you're just not going to do it any justice. You may plant the seed in somebody's head to want to learn more, but that's a tough one. I'd like to do it. Oh, shit, I should just figure out how to do it and do it myself. I'll be in direct competition with simple history. My recording space. How silent have you got it? How much work did I put into that? Okay, so besides, the first thing, other than mic technique, knowing how to use a microphone, which is important. The software is important too. The recording space is much more important than pretty much all of that. I've gone through several iterations of recording space to the point where I've had partitions, walk-in closet, and treated space, like a treated room. So I'm in a treated studio with pretty much, this is a whole science in and of itself, reflective points from where I am. So diffusers and foam, I don't know if you can swear some foam. So foam, which are reflecting points for when I mix without my headphones on, because normally I do not mix with my headphones on. I do this when I stream. So yeah, it's It's more important than pretty much anything. Because my noise floor, that's the question, right? How quiet, how silent have I gotten it? My noise floor, actually, well, here, I'm going to show you. Let me show you. Depending on the time of day, because I'm still technically not in an isolated booth, which that's later on down the line, if I start to become rich at doing this, I'll have a studio that's properly manufactured. Let's do this. We'll call this room tone, and let's record it at 96. So. So that, I don't know if you could see the meter over here. Let me do this. So that's the meter now when I'm talking. You can see me, blah, 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 blah. My room tone is negative 62 dB, which is pretty quiet. So, yeah, let's take that out. I love this stuff. I could talk about this stuff all the time. Don't get me going on this. If I zoom into those frequencies down here, it's these sub frequencies or these low frequencies. You see a lot of bands here. These are my monitor speakers. Like I have 8-inch studio monitors in front of me. They put off sound and my mic picks it up. I technically have a noise print of these frequencies, so I get rid of that in my noise removal process. So the effective noise floor after removal is negative 75. In a perfect world, I wouldn't remove noise. I would just have a studio that is completely dead quiet, and I wouldn't have to do any noise removal. Silence chamber the Bose has. Yes. In fact, actually, I think one of the... What picture do I have? Well, my Twitter profile. I have a picture of, I think it's Bose. It's either Bose or UC Berkeley has a sound chamber that has what is that? The anechoic chamber, where my background is the anechoic chamber, just because, yeah, nerd. I have seen that though. I've actually kind of always wanted to go into one of those and just listen to my heartbeat. But yeah, my noise floor is below negative 60, which is where most people you should start. You should, if you're higher than negative 50, you should think about treating you should think about treating your space. But yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I heard you can hear a lot. You can hear blood rushing through, and you can hear things moving around and clicking inside your head. So yeah, I've heard that too. All right, I got to get back to all these questions.
Instead, colonies will often assimilate into a primitive form of devotion to deities from other races in the...
Did I miss questions? Comments from the Davids.
Region.
Yes.
This is due to, 1, the transient nature of ratkin colonies resulting in a systematic shallowness.
He was disturbed. Yeah, see, I would like it. Yeah, I think I saw that Vsauce episode where he went into it. I know I saw one of them where they leave him in there for an hour. And I've seen one where another guy can go in and he's fine. I think I could handle that. I think I could handle being in a completely quiet room. Because with these on, I know it's not the same, but I can't hear anything behind me. Like there's a refrigerator way in the distance. If I turn the gain up on my mic, I can hear people outside, which is actually kind of weird.
Is in the region. This is due to, 1, the transient nature of ratkin.
Maybe check my OBS pickups. Negative 55. That's good. But I'll put it this way. Minus. Figure out go look up audio plugins. And you can get, in fact, actually Gate. I think they have a Gate plugin. What is it? Right click on, or click on the little settings near your desktop audio or your microphone. Go to filters, hit the plus. Now let's go, right? And add a noise gate in, right? Because I have one of those here. You can see my noise gate on this is completely pointless. I mean, it only picks up, say, negative 40. It only activate at that, which is kind of silly, but yeah. Yeah, my ears ring a little bit too. Noise suppression and made it sound horrible. Yeah, try a noise gate. And then actually, well, here, put my my settings back up there for you. It doesn't get rid of the coughs, but this. So what do I have? Closed threshold at 45. You want these to be fairly close. I think I set this and I did a whole bunch of testing, and it works for the most part. I mean, it works pretty well. I think this is, yeah, okay. So I have, one of my other VSTs. This is Ozone. This is running live. This is a maximizer or a limiter to boost up sound, but I haven't done any tweaking on any of this stuff. But the noise gate attack time should be nice and short, so the gate will actually not pick up. Or say not pick up, or actually pick up the attack time. The whole time 200, release time 300. All your personal preference. So that will help. I don't know how I arrived at -45 and -42. So I think this is how I did it. I recorded myself a bunch of times and just talked normally, talked at the loudest I was ever going to talked at the softest I was ever going to talk. And I think I wanted to make sure as I was watching my meters that even if I was going to talk really, really softly, it was always going to be above, like Bob Ross, it was always going to be above -42. If it was below a certain amount, it wasn't going to. So you get the idea. And then you can figure, and then after that, it will, if I'm not talking, the release time, I can't show you, the release time on your bar, you'll notice your microphone green little, indicator bar will actually take 300 milliseconds to completely turn off. And then you won't hear anything. It'll be dead silence. But that's not always a good thing. That's not always a good, That's not always a good thing, is to have dead silence. It's like I'm doing it now, and you're going to hear dead silence on the stream, and it actually kind of is jarring to some people. It's better to leave it kind of up and have room tone. Like some of my other streams I've put in, was it 1 decibel? No, not 1 decibel. -50 dB of room tone that I always had playing in the back, just because it sounds very strange. But yeah, play with it. Yeah, noise suppression is going to affect everything. Gate is where it's at. Noise gate is where it's at. All right, back to the. All right. Pay. Hey, I was wondering how much I have to pay you to do voice work. It depends on what the work is, man. If you said, I want you to read for my YouTube channel, just hit me up. Go to VocalForge, vocalforge.com. Hit the little contact me thing. Just send it over. I mean, I do a lot of stuff for nothing. I mean, it depends on what it is, but if you say, I want you to narrate my life, okay, that's right. If it's well written, sure, I'll do that. But yeah. How much or are you just looking for specific numbers? You want some numbers?
This is due
give you a quote.
To 1, the transient nature of ratkin colonies resulting in a systematic shallowness of their cultural and religious roots.
Oh boy. Would a noise cancellation system help with the background noise? Not sure how that reacts with the speakers versus the ear. And when you say noise cancellation system, would it help? Well, I don't know if I understand the question. A noise cancellation system, it depends on what you mean by that. If you're talking about live noise cancellation, where you set a threshold, would it affect? It would definitely affect the sound, but that's the thing. Every situation, every studio is different, so that's a tough one. 1,000 plus for a fee of every time I use from interviews. 1,000, right? 1,000? 1,000 plus. That's my standard union. Standard SAG-AFTRA union rate.
2, while ratkin do have a patron deity far in their past, colonies have so free.
I really don't like that.
Colonies have so frequently moved physical and spiritual homes over thousands of years that they have lost all connections to that ancient tradition. And 3 Ratkin penchant for acquisition and assimilation means that they often worship whatever idol, trinket, robe, or statue that they
Really find a mark for showing tricks in this program. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of that already out there. I would have to edit. Like this whole, I don't even know how long I've been streaming. How long have I been streaming? 2 hours. I have to edit this all down and actually write a script. I don't want to write a script. But I look up the things that are early. I have to forget the name of it on Google. I don't know. What thing? Remind me. That was 2 hours ago. I don't remember. Paid Premiere Charlie has got a lot of hits. Yeah, Adobe Audition. There's a gentleman named Mike Russell. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Mike Russell, music radio creative. He's got 100,000 subscribers by now. He's got a fantastic channel. He's got it down to a science. He's edited. I mean, hell, I honestly have considered just making a video about every single one of these presets. What do they do? And yeah, that would be good content, but it's just boring. I mean, it's just boring for me to make that. Nothing fun about it. Making the Pantheon stuff is fun. Forge thing. Forge. Oh, Vocal Forge. Hold on. Wait, let me put it in. That right there. That's my website. If you go to that, just put contact me or say, or message me or whatever the hell I have on there. And I'll record it. As long as you're not under time, you're under a time constraint. If you say, oh, I need this tomorrow. Well, yeah, that might not happen. Since I don't want to say I'm backed up, but I already have like Fiverr. I'm on Fiverr and there's a bunch of work that I have for Fiverr still to do. So yeah, just being lazy today.
Robe or statue that they acquire from other races. It would not be unlikely to acquire from other races. It would not be unlikely to encounter a Ratkin colony under the steps of Rulun worshipping an entirely different deity than a colony in the Roans.
I think you contacted me that way. That's the easiest way to contact me. I'm not going to say, oh, hit me up on Discord. Don't hit me up on Discord.
Nor should an adventurer tracing the steps of his father 30 years later be surprised to find that the devotions of the same colony his father found.
A year or more. Yeah, that's... Okay, so if you say a year or more, I want to know how long is the script.
Have shifted over that time to another god.
Yes, I am impossible to reach on Discord. I'm on. Wait, yeah. Let me look at the window. I turned off notifications. Let's see. Am I on? Yeah, I'm on Discord. Look at that. I'm on Discord. See? I'm on Discord. Look. I'm on Discord. Oh, I got too many windows open.
Nor should an adventurer tracing the steps of his father 30 years later be surprised to find that the devotions of the same colony his father found have shifted over that time to another god. Within certain sleeps a devious blood-borne disease most commonly confused with rabies, called the drawn sickness.
So when I get to here, so I just heard something, another little technique. You can plant a marker. I think you could do that in Premiere, but I plant a marker, just a subclip marker. And I know that here, now that I'm talking about a disease,
within certain Ratkins sleeps a devious blood-borne disease most commonly confused with rabies, called the drawn sickness.
The drawn sickness. I definitely have a shift, a tone shift here. So I'm going to be, there'll be, let me zoom out. I'm almost done with this. Towards the end of this, so this is probably third. I like to do in thirds. First third, second third, third act is going to have a tone shift musically. So this is, since I'm now talking about these gross diseases. I'll definitely have a tone shift here.
A name disease most commonly confused with rabies, called the drawn sickness.
Even though I don't anticipate it, I will split that, because I'll probably split that.
A name which comes from the term drawn from the blood, and also their reputation for being drawn to strong mana fields. The drawn
You know, I haven't even edited anything in here yet. This is just the whole script, the whole entire page.
The drawn mutation gives infected rat.
I don't know if I even like that line. Whoops.
And also their reputation for being drawn to strong mana fields.
Just weird.
The drawn mutation gives infected ratkin unnatural strength, extreme ferocity, and a diminished length.
Yeah, that's definitely too quick. Slow that up.
Strength, extreme ferocity, and a diminished length of life. Yet the sickness may lie dormant in a ratkin for their entire life, as it often needs specific external or internal activators to begin the transformation process.
God, that's a long sentence. Jesus.
A diminished length of life. Yet the sickness may lie dormant in a ratkin for their entire life, as it often needs specific external or internal activators to begin the transformation process.
Some don't want speaking in their voice? Well, yeah, well, I do. I don't mind.
Documented activators include a life-threatening illness, sustained periods of extreme stress or lack of sleep, bites or similar fluid transfer from other infected ratkin. External activators include highly concentrated or consistent exposure to celestium crystals or mana fields.
Yeah, see, I talked about mana fields already. Why am I doing it again?
Spells of hexing, etc. Even ingestion of potions or fungi that react in the bloodstream. Drawn are a menace to any people group nearby.
Oh, we're almost done here. Almost done.
Drawn are a menace to any people group nearby, including their parent ratkin colonies. They're brute.
Everything in music, like vocals or anything. As far as singing, no. Well, yes. I mean, some friends of mine, I've cleaned up audio as far as using like Melodyne and stuff like that to actually auto-tune and clean that aspect of it. No, just basically mixing or mastering a vocal track, a singing track.
Drawn,
or not for myself.
Are a menace to any people group nearby, including their parent ratkin colonies. Their brute power and swift stealth or strike abilities make them a threat to even capable adventurers.
Oh, does Nathan play guitar? He's very creative. I like Nathan.
Additionally,
oh, so you want me to sing? You want to, I think if you know who Phil Anselmo is from Pantera, that's probably what I would sound like if I were to sing.
Once the process of transformation is complete, there are no remembrances of a former life or allegiances thereof. While drawn are unsuitable as warriors or slaves, some nefarious entities have sought to use the drawn ratkin as untethered watchdogs.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe I'll sound like Dean Martin. How about that? Either Phil Anselmo or Dean Martin.
Or even to use the sickness for their own means.
All right, so that is sliced up. So here, we're going to get another. I'm going to log into. You're going to see some behind the scenes stuff. Love a walk. Come on. Cemetery Gates. Cemetery Gates is the song. Walk is good. Cemetery Gates is awesome. What is a mess? Is a mess? Is this a mess? No, this isn't a mess. It's a mess, but it's going to get even worse. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Let's get a browser window up. So this is Storyblocks. This is audio. And since technically I'm probably going to get, every time I play one of these, it's probably going to whack me. Oh, I got a copyright strike or a copyright claim. Yeah, what? That audio track? You talking about this? Yeah, that does look weird. It's not even begun. I haven't even started yet. I have favorites for Pantheon. These are a lot of the tracks I've used before that have certain oomph to them. But actually, let's do this. Yeah, Static X. Yeah, Static X is great. I do kind of miss Static X. That was good. Now, these are some of the genres that I have in here. I don't have many, but I just started using this site. Audio blocks or story blocks. I have to find the right. No, not for Ratkin. It's too triumphant. That's not too bad. It's a little too epic. It's a little too epic. You're touring with a guy wearing a Wayne Static mask. What the hell? Oh. Oh, I didn't realize he died. Oh. Well, that sucks. This sounds like Pirates of the Caribbean. I do like that. I do like that. Do I want to march? These are all ones that I've saved before and I don't think I've used. Oh, by the way, I'm also listening. I'm not just listening for the entire thing. I'm listening for parts that I can chop up because you can really go crazy with extending bits of songs in Adobe Audition. I mean, the Essential Sound panel, I think they have that in Premiere Pro too. You can extend music. You have a staccato or a legato that you really enjoy. You can extend it for minutes and minutes and get a lot of use out of it. In fact, that's what takes up most of my time when I'm putting together one of these things. A dirge. Yeah, you know what? And this is just my saved stuff. I'm actually going to go in here and actually start narrowing it down as far as tempo. Japanese movie Men of Yamato. No, I don't think so. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to put together different clips all the time. I don't put together clips in Premiere. Like all of my audio, I have one track. I mix it down in Audition, and then I build the video around that. I don't have any transitions or anything like that. So, all right, mood. let's go to genre. Now let's do, let's start with my tempo. Let's do, well, nothing less than that. And nothing faster than 150. And let's do woodwind. Yeah, you're right, woodwind. Oblong pipes, maybe? And suspenseful. Let's see if they got anything here. And let's do duration. At least a minute. At least a minute. Let's see. Boring. Oh my god, that has rat sounds to it. That has potential. I'll favorite that. Actually, you know what? Let me make a new folder so I can have Ratkin. You know, I do like that. I'll have to add that to Epic. I do like that. This one here, let's say. Yeah, kinda. Oh, I like this one. Never been to Storyblocks. This is a subscription-based service, so you have to belong to them in order to get like unlimited downloads. But if you're a content creator belonging to a site like this, I don't know. There's a lot of them out there. I just sort of discovered that this one fits my preferences as far as sound, better than most. But I mean, sound effects, loops, collections, all of that stuff. Really good for content creators. Oh, I do like this one. This has an Aaron Copland vibe to it. I like that. I can definitely chop that one up into a bunch. Good sound effects library. Well, you know, actually, we could, at one point, I think we might be able to get together here. One of the sound effects libraries that I use, oh, God. So, God. There's a lot in here. If you can look here. Let me pause it when you come back to this video. Foley. God, that's a ton of Foley. Soundmorph is good, but if you're looking for, did I download it? Yeah, right here. So I spent, God, hours downloading every sound effect that YouTube put out. Like every single sound effect. I mean, that was annoying to me. I just downloaded everything. So I have it in one giant file. They have a lot of good sound effects, and they're totally royalty free, and you can use them in whatever. I can set that up as a like a WinRAR or a 7-zip or a zip file or whatever, and just FTP it. But it's thorough. There's a lot in here. Digifex, I think you can probably torrent. I think that's still free, I think. 1001 sound effects, that's free. That has a ton of different, you can find that on most torrent sites, IPT or whatever. In fact, actually, you might be able to find that on just a GitHub somewhere, probably. That has a lot of different things, but there's ones in here that you can't use, like the Sony FX volume. You have to be licensed to have that, and that's quite a bit. The BBC, did I get rid of BBC? The BBC library, this one here, the sound ideas. There it is, the BBC sound effects library. That is hugely good for atmospheres and whatever. But there's also, go back here. Soundmorph. Like I just started messing around with Soundmorph, and I just downloaded, actually, you know what, screw this. Getting off track here. I just downloaded, they have a new sound pack out. I'm not going to see this, but see if I can get this window up over there. Soundmorph 2. So yeah, all the design stuff. Impacts. Love this stuff. See if it plays. Actually, those aren't even the fun ones. The fun ones are the risers. They put together some good stuff, but I'm going to start messing around with those. But Red Bunch. Some of YouTube. Yeah, some of YouTube is, they do have some good sound effects, but their music library is, I don't want to say terrible, but it's pretty terrible. It's pretty terrible. All right, I got to pick music. Too much percussion. No. It's amazing how I just... Sometimes you can tell by looking at the waveform. You get lost in? Dude, it's like 1:30. What do you think I'm doing? You get lost in it. And besides, sleep. Come on. Who cares? You can always... What's Conan? The time enough for sleep in the grave. This is too... This is too cutesy. I like the snare though, or the hi-hat. All right, let's take that off and put sentimental on. Let's see what comes up here. No. 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 Okay, we're going to go on to epic and inspiring. Oh, did you just send something? I thought I heard my email go off. Uh-oh. Let's look. Oh, look at this. Reading emails. Reading emails in the stream. So that's not how this game works. Being powerful is my best trade. Lose the lugs. It's only a matter of time. Die. I need context. If those are the lines, I need context. So that's the thing. So you have to sort of see, that's the thing. Voice actor, you have to direct. You have to tell me what you're looking for. So I don't know if on that particular form, some of the forms have, if you have a link to an example that you're trying to have me sound like, or my tempo of what it's trying to be, let me know. Like, is there a character that you're trying to have that sound like? But let me know. I'm not going to do it now, but, you know, I will do it. And I'll just send it back to you, and then just make sure your email, your email's in there. Just make sure I'll be able to send it back to you, but I might not be able to get it. Try to sound evil. Evil. Oh, I got a lot of good evil voices, so don't you worry. Now, these are all crappy. All right, you know what? We're going to be going here. Orchestra. Uplifting acoustic? No, I don't want that. He's just going to pick from my standard. I think I've used this one before. I like this. All right, man. I will. So I favorited that, and don't think I've ever used it yet. I do like that. I do like that one. All right, so that I will download. That I will download. Look, I got the little Racking guy in there. We're going to open that up in Audition. So that's in Audition now. So we got one. I want at least two that I can mess around with. Let's see. Where the hell was I? I had this one. No, not that one. Not that one. A music change when you start to talk about the diseases. So what I'm looking for is technically three different themes, I guess. Not necessarily tempos, but three different feelings. One for the introduction, which is this section here. So pretty much from here.
Ratkin are one of the more ubiquitous races.
I'll put it this way. I will do this first. I will select everything and move it over a good 10 seconds. So I always, and this is just my personal preference, this is what I like to do. I like to establish the theme, the musical theme, within the first 5 to 10 seconds and let, whatever the time signature is on the song, let that play through a full measure so you can at least understand the theme and then have the voice come in. And then I'll have a bit of a break for the title card, I guess you would call it. And then after that, I'll either continue that theme or I'll edit it in such a way that the tempo or the sound is a little bit different. But yeah, I'm not even there. That's the creative part. That's the part that I can just keep on going. The end part sounds like a trailer as a fan film. Yeah, it should. It should sound like one because that's what it sounded like to me. But all right, that's one song. Let me go back here. No. Let's put in some keywords here. How about intense? See what comes up with intense. I don't even want to know what that is. And you're not going to get much intense at 150 BPM. This has potential. Well, I'm definitely favoriting that in my marches, because that's definitely got a march tone to it. See this? So this. So I'm definitely going to be using that as the end, the third act, the sort of sad melancholy of the Ratkin. That little bit, this bit down here, right? Because you can see in the waveform where it changes. Let's see. So right here. So I can instantly know that I'm going to want to use that because I like it. It jumps out at me, something catchy about it. And I will take that and drop it into my music bed. Wait, was that the one? That wasn't the one, was it? That wasn't that one. I'm an idiot. Anthem to the Fallen? I forgot which one it was. A long time something. This one here. All right. So I know that I'm going to use some of that. Right around there. I'll just slash that. Get rid of that. I know I'm going to use that somewhere over here. Somewhere. And I don't know where I'm going to start.
It is to begin the transformation process.
But obviously it's going to...
Documented internal activators include a life-threatening illness, sustained periods of extreme stress or lack of sleep, bites or similar fluid transfer from other infected ratkin.
Yeah.
Drawn are a menace to...
Yeah, definitely. So the horns, the brass, somber, it's going to come in around this point. And all of this is going to be extra. This is just here just for me to blend into. But right around there...
Drawn are a menace to any...
Oh, yeah. So once that horn, that woodwind comes in and you build up on that...
Drawn are a menace to any people group nearby, including their parent ratkin colonies. Their brute power and swift...
And this...
Power and swift stealth or strike abilities make them a threat to even capable adventurers.
So we're going to see what Adobe Audition does with this. So, essential sound, and we're actually going to go to music. I'm going to tick that. I'm going to untick that. I'm going to go to remix. And what that's doing back there is analyzing that particular clip. And it's going to allow me to stretch it. Now, I think this is going to really throw it. This is really going to throw it for a loop, I think. Because there's no tempo to it. It's just horns. There's no clear beat to it. So we'll see what it actually does. So that clip is 30-something seconds long. Let's up it to, let's see, 1 minute. I'll keep it 1 minute. Let's see what happens. So it stretched it out. And you can automatically see I got lots more to play with, but it might be repeating a lot of that same crap over and over again. So let's see what happens.
Additionally, once the process of transformation is complete, there are no remembrances of a former life or allegiances thereof.
Yeah, it took from the...
While drawn are unsuitable as warriors or slaves.
These little crossed lines here, it took from another part of the song. It took from the beginning of the song. So I'll have to manually edit and crossfade if I want to keep this.
Drawn are a menace to any people group nearby, including their parent ratkin colonies. Their brute power and swift stealth or strike.
Yeah, so in my case, I'll basically slice this up and then remix. Actually, I would just do this. Actually, a nice little shortcut here. Just duplicate that. So, and then here's where this is what takes the longest is, and I'm not even, I'm way ahead of myself. I'm jumping way ahead. This is towards the end when I know what I want thematically. I start messing around with this stuff. So I still have to go back and pick. That's a good one though. I do like that. I'm not opposed to it. Yeah. I always love strings. Sounds like World of Warcraft or Grizzly Hills. Now, this is actually good, but that's not background music. It's not backing music. I like it. I like what it says about. Well, when you think about Ratkin, I like that it. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Messy, huh? Hold on. I'll put that one in a second. Let me just. I like this. It's kind of fun. This is Pirates of the Caribbean now. This gets a favorite. It is a march. It's got a march tempo, but... Wow, this is interesting. Sort of piratey, yeah, that's... This is, This is good. All right, so this... It's definitely, I don't know if I'm going to... So what you can do is you can click on these and go into the track, and it'll show you other ones that are similar, supposedly, or similar type sounds, and we'll see if there's anything close. Is this the same thing? That's the same thing. No, I don't think so. See that no. They had me on the introduction. In fact, actually, that introduction, that. So what? 4 bars. I could just repeat that as basically like a little bit of a legato. That would be interesting, but now it's too modern. I like it, so it's going in my epic and inspiring, or uplifting. Yeah, it did sound like from the 80s or 90s, that one. I like this. This is a little bit less produced, but I like that. Not feeling it. All right, so we're going to go back to Messy, not Moe. Let's see. Of course nothing came up. I'd have to update. Sorry, Minus. Nothing with Messy. Nothing with Messy. Sorry, bud. I like clean music. Oh, now that I put my vocal forge, I have no idea who that is. No clue who that is. Let's see here. All right. What the hell was I doing? Intense? I will do intense still. Let me see. Orchestra. Let's do cinematic. That'll narrow it down. I think I did that one. Yeah, I did that one. I'm looking for a build-up. This is... No. I can use that, but later on. I can use that. I'm going to call it melancholy. Yeah, right, exactly. The intro was completely... as soon as I got to the body... right up to here. Maybe starting here. Yeah, definitely. I like that, so I'll keep that. But that's not Ratkin. I don't hear Ratkin when I hear that. No. And that's the funny thing is I still have sound effects. I am going to add sound effects into this one. All right, man. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll check out the stuff that you sent me. I appreciate it. I'll get something back to you. This track, I love this track. Love this. I'm digging that track. That's one of those tracks that inspires me to make something else. Do I look at the Ratkin as well as organized and intelligent? No, because, well, actually, if I don't know if you've read most people don't read anymore. If you read the story of them, they're not a intelligent race. Like their communication, their language skills isn't exactly what you'd want. Like I think Ratkin was an EQ. Was Ratkin an EQ or Ratkin for EQ2? I think they were, weren't they? Like they're not like an organized, intellectual type race. They're just sort of taken advantage of. So I don't see them as being too, like the themes are going to be very generic for these guys. I don't. Yeah, the marches, I don't want march. Like for this, I think, I mean, I can even artificially, I can force an emotion by the music if I really wanted to, since there's not much behind these guys. This is more of a telling the story of Ratkin instead of trying to convey anything. Yeah, it is. No. As soon as the snare started, it lost me. Yeah. So this has potential at this point. I do like the blend of modern. Oh, yeah, that one little spot. That one little spot. Yeah, in there. I do like that. I don't know if that's going to work with the other choices, but I do like that. Boring. Same damn thing. Oops. Oh. Oops. No. I could see how you can do this for whatever video game from arcade with some beep. Yeah, that's right. It did sound like that. You know, one thing as tribal. I might do tribal as a keyword after this, because they are technically tribal creatures. Percussion. Oh, no problem, man. Oh, thanks for hanging out. If you ever want to talk shop, we can always do that. Well, that's good. Thank you. That's a nice compliment. I don't know. Do I get benefits? Do I get pension? I like this. Go to sleep. It's time to go to sleep. All right, man. Have a good night. Lego Bionicle theme? Yeah, kinda. I do. It's very. I don't know. That is very interesting. All right, so the question is, does that song fit in here, or is it too much?
Ratkin are one of the more ubiquitous.
Definitely way too loud. It's definitely way too loud, but I gotta.
Ratkin are one of the more ubiquitous races in the Western Hemisphere of Terminus. Nearly every continent has at least one colony, from King's Reach down to Whitefall, with several having multiple colonies in multiple regions. One of the more ubiquitous races in the Western Hemisphere of Terminus. Nearly every continent has at least one colony, from King's Reach down to Whitefall, with several having multiple colonies in multiple regions. As diverse as environments are, so are the types of ratkin that inhabit them. Ratkin are experts at resourceful. Ratkin are one of the more ubiquitous races in the Western Hemisphere.